Welcome to the Mawang Voice. In our first episode, we spoke about why conversation matters more than opinion. We explored how opinion is loud, fast, and often certain, while conversation is slow, demanding, and deeply human. Today, I want to take that reflection one step further, because conversation does not begin with speaking. It begins with the listening. And listening, I want to suggest, is not just a social skill. Listening is a moral act. We've always met people who believe they are good listeners. But listening is not measured by silence. It is measured by attention. It is measured by willingness. It is measured by what we allow to change inside us. True listening costs something. It costs our time, it costs our assumption, and sometimes it costs our comfort. And that is why real listening is rare. We live in a culture that speaks constantly but listens selectively. We listen for what confirms us. We listen for what flatters us. We listen for what strengthens our position. But we struggle to listen to what challenges us. And yet, if conversation is the bridge between people, listening is the foundation of that bridge. Without listening, conversation collapses into performance. Let's be real. Many conversations today are not conversations at all. They are parallel monologues, two people speaking past each other, waiting for their turn to talk, not for a chance to understand. Listening interrupts that pattern. When you listen, you surrender control of the moment. You allow another person's voice to occupy space. You accept that their experience matters even if you disagree with their conclusions. And that is not weakness. That is moral maturity. Listening is moral because it recognizes dignity. To listen to someone is to say, "You matter enough for me to pay attention." It is to affirm their humanity before needing to validate every belief they hold. This is especially important in a fractured society. When people feel unheard, they harden. When they feel invisible, they become hungry. When they feel dismissed, they stop engaging honestly. Listening does not solve every disagreement, but it lowers the temperature. It opens a door that shouting keeps closed. This is deeply rooted in faith. In Scripture, God is repeatedly described as one who hears. He hears the cries of the poor, the prayers of the faithful, the groans of the suffering. Before God speaks, God listens. And if we claim to reflect divine values, then listening cannot be optional for us. Jesus listened. He listened to questions that were poorly formed. He listened to pain that was not neatly expressed. He listened even when the speaker did not fully understand what they were asking. Listening was part of his ministry. Listening exposes us. When you truly listen, you may realize that your understanding is partial, that your experience is not universal, that your certainty rests on limited information. That realization can be unsettling. So often we protect ourselves by interrupting, by dismissing, by labeling, and by retreating into opinion. Listening removes those defenses. Listening also requires discipline. It means resisting the urge to correct immediately, resisting the urge to prepare a response while the other person is still speaking, resisting the urge to turn every conversation into a debate. This discipline is difficult, but it is transformative. When people feel genuinely heard, they soften, they clarify, they become more reflective themselves. Listening invites listening. Listening does not mean agreement. Listening does not mean surrendering truth. Listening does not mean silence in the face of injustice. Listening means understanding before responding. Even confrontation, when necessary, should be grounded in listening. Listening requires presence. Not partial presence, not distracted presence, but full presence. This matters for families, it matters for communities, it matters for faith spaces, it matters for public life. Where listening disappears, trust erodes. Where listening is practiced, healing begins. This is part of the vision of the Mawang Voice. This platform is not only about speaking truth. It is about creating a listening posture. Let me leave you with a practical challenge. In the coming days, choose one conversation where you listen more than you speak. Just listen. Because listening reminds us that truth is not only spoken, it is received. This is the Mawang Voice. Thank you for listening, and thank you for choosing presence over noise. Until next time, goodbye.